Our list is none other than Grand Theft Auto 5. This is a game that I think just about all of you have played at least once in your life, and if you haven't played it, well, you absolutely should, but you need to understand, you're going to get sucked in for a long, long time. GTA 5 was released in 2013 to critical acclaim, setting tons of sales records in the very first week on the shelf, such as the best-selling game in 24 hours, the best-selling entertainment piece, and many, many more. The game features a massive open-world recreation of Los Angeles, as well as some of its surrounding counties like Venice Beach. In total, this map is approximately 127 square kilometers in size. Now, that's still a pretty small comparison because in reality, Los Angeles County is over 7,000 square kilometers, but it is still an extremely impressive video game map, especially when you consider how much is going on at any given time all over the place with all the NPCs driving cars, walking around, running errands. Speaking of immersive, at number 9, we have The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Man, the Witcher series has always been praised for its storytelling, but slightly criticized for its extremely difficult and demanding gameplay. The Witcher 3 had you playing as a monster hunter named Geralt as he tried to track down and rescue his daughter, who had been captured by the evil Wild Hunt, a group of powerful beings trying to harvest the power within her. You venture around this huge map on your horse and the scenery is absolutely beautiful. Plus, you'll pretty much never run out of things to do or look at in this map because it is a total of 218 square kilometers in size. If you want a great RPG that has an absolutely gorgeous open world, check out The Witcher 3. At number 8, we have Arma 3, and this size is massive too, 270 square kilometers. Arma 3 is pretty much the exact opposite of every other military multiplayer shooter that's come out in the last 10 years. Released in September of 2013, this game is very realistic. It's a military simulation game on another level. You are given free reign over this massive open world with tons of weaponry and equipment to make use of. Now, unlike other shooters that simplify the concepts of shooting and positioning, the Arma series is much, much more technical since it's more of a simulation than a game. It features tons of ways for your character to stand, lay prone, hold their weapons, and a lot more. Arma 3 will also have no problem immersing you in its world, as the map, like I said, is 270 square kilometers in size, giving you plenty of space to run around, explore. At number 7, Fallout 76. Okay, I know, the game isn't out yet, but if Bethesda is to be believed, it definitely deserves a spot on this list today. Fallout 76 is an upcoming online-focused RPG, or at least that's what I think it is. Bethesda is being pretty secretive about it, set for launch of this year. The story will act as a prequel to the entire series, showing what happened before the bombs dropped. While the game isn't out yet, and there's no hard proof of it, Bethesda claimed at E3 this year that Fallout 76 map is going to be 4 times bigger than Fallout 4, which would make it, if I do my math, approximately 444 square kilometers on launch day. Now, like I said, this hasn't been confirmed since the game isn't out, and we haven't seen it yet, but Bethesda has no reason to lie about something like that. If the game really is that big, it's deserving of a spot on this list. At number 6, Ghost Recon Wildlands. Released in early 2017, this game was a pretty dramatic departure from the gameplay of the previous Ghost Recon games in favor of a much more expansive open world format that Ubisoft seems to pump out every 5 minutes. Ubisoft has also described Ghost Recon Wildlands as one of the biggest games they've ever developed, and they weren't kidding. The map of Wildlands is estimated to be about 576 square kilometers, which that is massive for a video game. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot to do on the map, which led to the game not being very well received since it was pretty bland and boring in between missions. Still, an impressive map size. Cracking into the top 5 today, talking about impressive map sizes since we're measuring Just Cause 3. This series is all about roaming around an open world and causing as much havoc and destruction as you possibly can. The series first kicked off in September of 2006, and we recently got an announcement at E3 that a 4th game is on its way. Now, the most recent game in the series was Just Cause 3, which launched late in 2015 too. Kind of mixed reviews. It had good gameplay and player choice, but numerous technical issues. Many of those technical issues in Just Cause 3 were most likely due to this game's insane size. The map is about, are you ready for this? 1,036 square kilometers, making it the biggest in the franchise and also the first on our list to break 3 digits. But if you thought Just Cause 3 was big, well, hold on. At number 4, we have Fuel. This is a game that a lot of people forget about due to it kind of flying under the radar at release, but I haven't forgotten, people. Fuel is an open-world racing game developed by Asobo Studios and published by Codemasters in 2009 for the PS3, Xbox 360, and PC. While the racing and driving mechanics were criticized for being subpar, the main draw of this game was the insane open-world map. Fuel boasts a map that is estimated to be, are you ready? This blows all the others out of the water right now. 14,400 square kilometers in size, which is about the size of the entire state of Connecticut. Plus, the game had a very detailed weather system that would have tornadoes and storms come in and interact with the tracks. For many years, Fuel was the biggest console game of all time, but it was later passed by a game that we'll be talking about very, very soon. At number 3, Elder Scrolls II Daggerfall. Due to the insane popularity of the later Elder Scrolls games like Skyrim and Oblivion, a lot of people tend to forget about the earlier ones. Daggerfall was the second game in this franchise, and it was released for the MS-DOS back in 1996. And if you thought Skyrim and Oblivion had big maps, wait until you hear this game's size. Here we go. Daggerfall is estimated to have a map of about 160,000 square kilometers, which is insane compared to the mere 14 square kilometers of Skyrim. Skyrim's map actually isn't all that big at all. It just feels big because of the amount of stuff in it. Now, I wonder if Elder Scrolls 6 will top Daggerfall for the spot of the biggest Elder Scrolls game ever. At number 2, we have Elite Dangerous. This is an online space adventure and exploration game that is a very acquired taste, as it seems either people love it or they hate it. Released back in 2014, this game started development back in 2012 via a Kickstarter campaign, and it's actually a sequel to the 1995 game called Frontier First Encounters. The developers wanted to make Elite Dangerous one of the most immersive games around, so they set out to completely recreate the Milky Way galaxy, 1-to-1 in scale by using procedural generation, and they did it. That's right, the overall map of Elite Dangerous is the size of the entire Milky Way. But there is one game that has managed to pass that. And here we go. You probably guessed what it was, and it's making a resurrection of itself. A lot of gamers are back into this. At number 1, No Man's Sky. Now, I'm sure I don't need to remind you of this game's legacy. No Man's Sky started off as perhaps the biggest disappointment in gaming history, as it was advertised as this revolutionary adventure game with seemingly endless possibilities. But when it launched, it barely had any of the content that was actually promised, and the player counts dropped like crazy. However, over the years, and especially in the last few recent months, the developers have been updating it a lot and is now in a very good state with almost all the original promised content. So, just how big is No Man's Sky's world now? Well, thanks to the procedurally generated galaxies, the game is estimated to have about 18 quintillion planets, and that is without all the space in between them, and all of those planets are maps in themselves. So, while I may not be a huge fan of the game, I cannot deny the fact that it is the biggest open world game of all time.